11 words, somebody counted once. A coworker with a stopwatch grin. Your total for an entire morning. 11, she meant it as a joke about you. Here is what she never understood. Those 11 words were the only 11 worth saying. You have felt it your whole life. The room going loud around you while you sit inside your own quiet like a warm coat. So what is happening in there, behind the silence? Tonight, we answer it. Start with the question people have asked you since childhood. Why are you so quiet? Notice the shape of it. Nobody asks a loud person. Why are you so loud? Loudness gets treated as normal. Silence gets treated as a symptom. Teachers wrote it like a defect. Does not participate, needs to speak up more. Written on your report cards year after year. Your mother apologized for you at family gatherings. She is shy, she said, while you stood there. Not shy at all, simply finished speaking. You had said what you had to say. There was nothing wrong with you. Something was wrong with a world where girls performed noise to exist. Go back further, to where the quiet was built. You grew up in houses where words were currency. And somebody else controlled the bank. Perhaps a father whose voice filled every room in the house. The family arranged itself around his weather. Or perhaps a mother who talked in circles instead. You learned early there was no space left, so you stopped competing for it altogether. Perhaps the opposite. A home so tense every sentence was a risk. Matches in a dry field. Whatever the house sounded like, you drew the same conclusion. Speaking was expensive. Listening was free. And the listener always knew more by the end of the night than anyone who had talked. Because here is what nobody noticed while they worried about your silence. You were working. While the others performed, you observed. You knew which aunt was lying about being happy. You knew the marriage at the end of the street was ending a year before it ended. You knew which friend was in trouble by the way she held her glass at dinner. You built an entire intelligence system behind your eyes, running on fuel others burned on chatter. The quiet girl was never absent from the room. She was the only one fully in it. Now look at your days as a grown woman. The pattern holds in every room. In meetings, you speak once, near the end, and the room turns toward you every time. Everyone knows your one sentence has been assembled from everything said before it, piece by piece. On the phone, you let long pauses live. It unsettles people. And you let it. At dinner parties, you find the one other quiet person, or the dog, or the kitchen. And you have a better evening than anyone out there shouting over the loud music. You answer texts in a single line. You end phone calls first. You always have. Words leave you the way money leaves a careful woman. Counted, considered, never wasted on filler. And people fill your silence with their own stories. This is where it costs you. They decide you are cold when you are the one who remembered their surgery date. They decide you are judging them, when the truth is you are only resting quietly. They decide you are simple, slow, boring, stuck up, sad, and you are none of it. Correcting them would require the exact currency you refuse to spend. So misunderstandings pile up quietly. Promotions went to louder people who said less. Your ideas were claimed by louder voices. Men mistook your silence for mystery, then resented you when it turned out to be privacy. Even people who love you have leaned in over the years and asked, "What is wrong?" They heard you say, "Nothing," and did not believe you, because of the world they live in. A world convinced a quiet woman must be a problem waiting to be solved. There were rooms where it truly hurt. Start with the family emergency you remember. You did the work while a talkative relative did the narrating, loudly, for everyone present. And the narrating got remembered as the helping, while your hands were forgotten completely. The friendships that faded, not from conflict, but because you did not produce enough noise. Not enough noise to hold your place in them, so they drifted, and you let them. The meetings where a decade of your competence lost to 20 minutes of someone's confidence. You went home from those rooms and said nothing about them either, absorbing losses silently. It is the one place your economy works against you, and you have always known it. But now look at what the silence built, because it built plenty over the years. People tell you things. Have you noticed? Strangers, coworkers, women sitting beside you in waiting rooms. They lower their voices and hand you their secrets. They have done it your whole life. They sense what the loud world forgot. Silence is safety in a leaking world. A woman who does not spill words will not spill theirs, and they know it. You have carried other people's confessions for decades, marriages, diagnoses, regrets, all resting inside you. Like stones at the bottom of a calm lake, nothing surfaced, nothing ever will. There are people walking around today whose worst year is safe inside a quiet woman. And your words, when they come, land differently. You have watched it happen for years. A room argues for an hour. You say one sentence, and the argument quietly ends. A friend cries through a long story. You offer 6 words, and she stops completely. She looks at you and says, "Yes, exactly. How did you even know?" This is the mathematics no one taught you, but you always understood. Words gain value through scarcity. The woman who talks all day devalues her own currency by nightfall, every single day. Your sentences arrive rare and heavy, like coins from a country nobody visits, and people keep them. Somebody, somewhere, is still holding a sentence you said to her 20 years ago. You have forgotten it. She never will. Your words keep living in other people's houses. Here is the quiet truth underneath it all. You were never failing to speak. You were refusing to perform. The world confused the two, because the world was busy performing. Talking, for so many people, is not communication. It is a way of proving they exist. A bell they ring against the dark. You never needed the bell. You know you exist. Your silence was never emptiness. A woman standing on her own ground, coordinates unannounced. So hear the permission plainly, though you waited 50 years and stopped expecting it entirely. You are allowed to stay quiet. You are not required to fill silences for others. You are allowed to answer in one word, to let the phone ring itself out, to leave the group chat unread, to sit at the gathering with your glass and your watching, your warm coat of quiet wrapped around you, and call it a full evening anyway. You are allowed to stop explaining the silence after a lifetime of the same question. You spent 50 years being asked why you are so quiet. You never have to answer again. The people who matter stopped asking long ago. They learned to read you instead, slowly. Your small nods, your one-line texts, the specific way you say their name out loud. They know a fluent language lives in there, and they feel honored to be its speakers. And if the world still counts your words like a shortage, then let it count. The count was never the measure. The measure was always what the words held inside. 11 words before noon, she thought she was reporting a deficiency to the whole office. She was reporting a discipline, 11 words. Each one meant, every single one of them. In a world drowning in words nobody means, keep your 11. They were always enough. Sit with that, if you want. I will sit with it too. We do not have to figure out the rest tonight.